Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Talks. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Today we're going to talk about habit stacking and how can it help you and what is it? How can you implement habit stacking? Have you ever made a resolution or you set a goal and for some reason it just didn't stick? You couldn't keep doing it? Well, you're not the only one. People every day have this same issue, and so what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Studies have shown that 7 out of 10 people have had trouble sticking to their habits or their resolutions when they make them. And there are many studies that are out there that really differ on how long it takes to form a habit. They range from 18 to 254 days. So you can see why people would have trouble trying to form a new habit. They really can't stick to it long enough to make it really work. Most of the studies show that it takes 58 to 79 days, and that's the average on most of the studies show that's where the effectiveness is on forming a new habit. So we're going to go with that. Having a goal or starting something new is not always that easy. It's a little bit difficult. It takes a lot of willpower, it takes commitment, and it takes fortitude to continue on that particular path to that goal, to reach that goal. And this is why the strategy of habit stacking can be effective, because we already have some things that we do on a regular basis. But what is this habit stacking? How can we use it and how can it be effective? Let's talk a little bit about that. Think about piggybacking a new habit or a new goal onto the back of something you already are doing on a regular basis. And that's what this is about. It's about making use of what you already have as a habit. All you need to do is find something that you want to stack or put on the back of a habit you already have. And that's going to help you to create some new goals, some new ideas to continue this new habit you want to form. Let's say that you are the person in the house that makes breakfast every morning. This is a good example. In the morning, you're the one that always goes down there and makes breakfast, and you're making breakfast, but you don't like doing the dishes. But let's say, for example, you go to work after that, you come home and there's a pile of dishes. So your new habit is you want to do the dishes before you leave the house. So while you're making breakfast, you may do some of the dishes. You may start out small. You may start out with just doing something so that it's not that big of a mess when you come home from work. That's a way to piggyback that particular new habit onto the one you've already got or one you're already doing. Here's another one. Let's say in the morning you brush your teeth, you spend time doing that, and you also want to listen to the news. Maybe you didn't do that before and you did it during some other activity. Well, you could piggyback the news with that new habit, with the habit of brushing your teeth. You could put listening to the news as you do those tasks in the bathroom. And that's one way to put something onto another one, onto a goal you already have. That's one way to put something on a habit you already have, to start creating a new one. Also, do you drive to work? If you drive to work, or even if you take a bus or some other form of transportation, the door is wide open on what you can add to that commute that you're doing. How do you make this work for you? There are a few things you can do. First, don't be vague. Be specific with what you want. So think about it like this. If you're brushing your teeth, you've got 2 things that you're doing. You brush your teeth, you wash your face, and maybe you want to add something new. Moisturize your face. So now you've got 3 things in your first example. Second, make it brief. Do not try to throw everything you want to accomplish onto the back of another habit you have. You can't throw a giant amount of things onto it. It has to be subtle. It has to take root little by little. So do not add a bunch of things that are lengthy and okay, I'm going to go through this process and that process. That's out of the picture. That's never going to help you to form that new habit. So let's say that one of the things you want to do after you brush your teeth is you want to do 10 push-ups or 10 squats. That starts small. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to do your whole routine up in your bathroom or in your bedroom right after you brush your teeth. You can start out small, and it's going to make things easier to do when you start out little by little. Remember the time frame about starting a habit is quite extensive. So it's important to start small. And thirdly, be realistic. If you're not a morning person, don't add these things to your morning routine. You have to do it somewhere else that's going to fit best for your schedule. The other thing is, don't try to add new things to a habit that's not consistent. You got to add it to something that you consistently do over and over and over, and it's already established habit. Inconsistency is not going to help you with the new habit. So the idea is that what you're doing is connecting things that you already have a long-term commitment with, or you've already had a habit that's established. And that way it's like, on autopilot, so to speak. So it's automatically going to be added to that. And it's just another thing that's just going to make it easier for you, because you want this new habit to become second nature. And that's what you're trying to accomplish. And lastly, our brains tend to focus on one thing at a time. And so make sure whatever it is that you do with one habit, the next one you're adding is related. It kind of goes together so that it flows as you're doing the new habit. You don't want to stop the one habit you're doing and then get into a totally different idea. It's just not going to work that way. It's just not going to flow. It's not going to be conductive to keeping that flow where everything is cohesive. So it makes sense that this new habit is completely compatible with the habit you already have flowing. So this has to be something that is part of what you're doing already, and it's going to be a natural flow. And this determination can only be done by you and you alone. Nobody else can help you with that. This is a decision you have to make and what's going to work for you the best. Especially if you're starting a new habit anyway, and you want to do this, this is a great thing to try. At least try it and see how it goes for you. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you very much. Don't forget to check out the links below, and don't forget to subscribe. Ciao, ciao.